What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the 88th episode. That's right, 88th episode of Collecting Profit, which is your weekly sports card and reselling sports card show. So, what do we have on the agenda this week? Well, we are going to talk about adding on to what we talked about last week, especially when it comes to what is going on with, the Topps Chrome product. So I don't know if anybody have seen or anything, but the Victor Wembanyama 1 of 1 was pulled in the first week. I know it's a big shock. I don't know how much of this product Topps produced, so I can't tell you, hey, they had, the chances of everybody going ahead and hitting it were up. I don't know how much. What's up, Dom? How you doing, buddy? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Big John, how's it going? Hey, man, love that Apache case. It was one of the ones that I was actually thinking about getting also. So we saw that the Victor Wembanyama card was pulled, the 1 of 1. If you weren't aware, Blaze went ahead and put out $1 million bounty for that card. $1 million Blaze wants to pay for that card. That's interesting. That's interesting. Ziggy No had a video I watched earlier today, I think it was, about what's going on. Why are people going ahead and buying this licensed basketball project? The guys look like, he was making fun. He goes, some like they're wearing pajamas. And I think the thing is, because it's the only place you're going to be able to get autographs. Victor Wembanyama is exclusive. I believe Brendan Miller is exclusive. So if you want an autograph of a rookie card, that's where you got to go. So that's what it is. Now, if you look at the cards, and even Ziggy went ahead and said it in his video, and I've watched a couple, there's nothing special about the look of these cards. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not like ugly. They're not like, oh my gosh, they're not like they came out of, 89 or 88, some of those, some of those years. But so I mean, they're not a super duper looking card, but there's really not a lot of appeal when you look at some of the inserts that I've seen. Again, nothing has been like, oh my gosh, I gotta get that card. People want the autographs because if you want an autograph of a foot basketball player on a Topps card, that's the only place you're going to get it. No place else. You cannot get it anyplace else. So what do? Do you not buy it and wait for the official licensed product to come out? Or do you buy it? Again, if you want a rookie first year card of Victor Wembanyama, then you need to buy the Topps Chrome for the autograph. If you want the first year Brandon Miller, you got to buy the Topps Chrome. I mean, it's just the way it is. There's really nothing, excuse me. There's really nothing you could do about it. I mean, that's literally why people are buying the box. Now, the guy or girl, whoever, who bought that 600, I believe they go for $600, one pack, $600. I think might be more packs. I did not look because I knew the price was going to be, you see, way, way up here, and I wasn't going to be buying it. So for me, I was like, I'm not going to be buying it. So there's no sense in even looking at, what you get in the box. But even if it's one pack, even if it's 5 packs, again, the price is just crazy. I do like what they did with football. But same type of thing with the football, the cosmic football, I think they're calling it. I like that idea. Putting the different designs and stuff like that. That's good. That has that uh Chronicles esque look to it, as I would say. And that's good. But I didn't think they're also like $600 a box. So again, if you want to get CJ Stroud autograph, if you want to get some of these other players, if you want to get their autograph, there's nothing you can do. That's what you need to get that product. I mean, it is that simple. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. Excuse me there. There's just, there's no, like I said, there's no way around it. That's the way it is. And that's okay. It's okay. Hobby the way you want. We talk about it all the time. I've said it a million. If I said it once, I said it, if I said it once, I said it. What's with you? We're at episode 88. If I said it once, I've said it 125 times on this show. Collect what you want to collect and don't give a damn about anybody else, what anybody says, because somebody is always going to have an opinion different of yours, of the cards that you collect, of the players that you collect, all that stuff. They're always going to have, they're always going to have a difference of opinion, and that's okay. But getting back to the cards, it's going to be interesting. Blez put a video out with a plea to play. They basically said, look, whoever has that card, pick up the phone and call me. I don't know if Blez put his number somewhere. I guess maybe you'd have to DM him and say, what's going on. Uh, the other big card that hasn't come out yet, as far as I have watched videos, I haven't seen it yet, is the triple autograph from Tops Now. So that means, supposedly all that has been shipped out. That means somebody's sitting there with a pack of cards, sitting with that one of one in it, and hasn't decided to open it yet. So you know, gonna be interesting to see what happens with that card when that card pops. You know, will the person keep it? Will the person sell it? you know, for a lot of people, a lot of collectors, a lot of people who bought that Tops Now, they were basically playing, the lottery. Let me buy 3, let me buy 5, let me buy 10. Like I said, like I showed last week, they come in. I hope that it's something that comes like this, but I think it's not. I think it comes in a pack. It's in a sealed pack, and I think in that pack, it's a redemption also. So to me, that's one of those ones where, oh, it's redemption, sure. If I'm close to where the card is being held, I get in my car and I drive. If not, I get on a plane, I fly, I go pick it up, and I handle it that way. There's no way. Excuse me. Whew. There's no way that card is being mailed to me. I don't care if I don't care. I don't care if I live, 5 miles from where that card is kept. That card's not going in the mail. You'd be a fool to let that card go in the mail. But again, that's going to be another one. What do you do? Do you hold it? Do you sell it? It's different than the Webanyama, right? Because the Webanyama is not going to change, right? So the bounty that's for that card, the bounty that's for the triple auto. Webanyama, the one of one, is not going to change. I think what makes the triple auto a do I keep it? Do I sell it? I think there's a more of a decision there as to what to do. Is you need to, if some crazy reason, you know, those guys come back and maybe play in another Olympics, there's the opportunity that that card can come out again. So that's the only thing you would have potential of. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. LeBron James is 39 years old. I- Although I don't put it past him, I find it hard to believe that LeBron is going to play in the 2028 Olympics. Could be wrong. Could be very, very wrong. Um, but I don't know, right? I can't say 100% for sure that he won't. He's the type of guy who, to be honest with you, it it makes sense that he could go ahead and and stick around. It's going to be in Los Angeles. Um, why wouldn't he potentially go ahead and be there? I don't know. But to me, you know, $1 million, that's life changing money. And you know, you have the opportunity to do it, you go ahead and do it. You don't wish any ill will on anybody, any player, anything like that. You wish no ill towards any of those guys, but you just don't know. And all you need is for the dude to go ahead and get hurt, and then what happens? You know what I mean? Dude goes ahead and look at Greg Oden. Look at his career, right? All you need to go ahead and do is go up, go down, bang. He is a skinnier feller. He's not a thick Shaq type guy. You know, I know the NBA has changed. There's not a lot, and there's not as much, banging underneath the board and stuff like that. And that's not necessarily his game. But again, they're not that apart. So from that standpoint, you don't know. So it's like me personally. I mean, I would sell. I don't know if I would, uh, you know, $1 million or take a chance. Not necessarily sure, of what would happen. But if the guy's going to pay you $1 million, you say, okay, here's what you're going to do. Yes, you're going to pay me $1 million, but you're also going to, send a private jet to the airport closest to where I live. You're going to fly me out to wherever, Las Vegas, and you're going to put me up somewhere for a week. uh, you know, and we're going to do an interview or whatever it may be, and I'm going to sell you the card, and you're going to put the money in my account. Now, unfortunately, when that happens, Uncle Sam's going to come knocking on your door. Hello there, Mr. Smith. We noticed on the YouTube of We Heard that you sold the card for $1 million. So, you do have to claim that as income. Whenever you sell something like that, it's income. You don't get to go ahead and say like, and not tell, Uncle Sam, because Uncle Sam wants his share. So I don't know how much you clear out of that 1 million, but if that box cost you $1,000, you still did pretty darn good. So to me, those when they start throwing figures out around a lot, when they start throwing figures out like that, I think you really have to go ahead and consider selling a card and not, not holding on to it. Because I don't think anything good is going to happen if you hold on to the card. I think, you sell the card, take your money, and you enjoy, and you buy something else. If if you sell the Victor, you hold it, and you know what? Maybe you buy another one. You buy one of the other ones. I think there. I don't know if there's only one of ones. I don't know if there's, let's say, the 5 or the 10. So maybe you buy one that's the 10 for 100,000 or something along those lines, and you do something like that. That's uh that's probably an option. Uh, that's probably an option to have. Oh, wait a minute. Did I close my live? Dang it. So we have a question, Mike, for anybody who's in the chat. Mike, the CEO, is in a draft, a football draft. He got a running back, he got a wide receiver, and he got a tight end. What should he do next? In my opinion, if there's been a run on running backs, because you're going to have back-to-back picks, if there's a run on running backs and you do have back-to-back picks, my next pick would be the best running back and then a quarterback. Or if there's still some good running backs available, and let's say wide receivers are getting thin, because there was a run on wide receiver, then I would go wide receiver and potentially quarterback. Now it depends what quarterbacks are left. If there are still, if there hasn't been a run on quarterbacks, then I would fill out and I would go running back and wide receiver. I don't know if I would take a chance on Nick Chubb right now, because I believe he's out for the first 4 games. I would take a chance on Nick Chubb if there was another good running back available. Then I would consider taking Nick Chubb and then another running back, because what you can do is you could put Nick Chubb on IR and have him waiting. For a kicker, I would wait. You should be able to get Greg the Leg later in the draft. So Nick Chubb, not a bad pick, but I would only pick him if you were going to take another running back. I think I would go running back then, with Chubb being one of them, and then take somebody else from that standpoint. Otherwise, if you don't want to take a chance on Chubb, then I would probably go running back, wide receiver. Kicker in the first round always. That's right. You take oh, although maybe that explains. I think Dom's a Giants fan, so it makes sense that the kicker is probably the best player on the Giants. That's probably why Dom would take the kicker, so he would have the best New York Giants football player. Walk in. How are you, sir? So not only, gang, are we talking football cards, not only are we talking basketball cards, we're talking fantasy football. That's right. You get it all here. Tomorrow night, good evening, President Larkin. Tomorrow night is opening night. Chiefs, Ravens. Should be a fun game to watch. You know what I felt? What's odd though, from a selling standpoint, I really thought I was, for the last, not this present batch that I'm working on of cards of listing, but the batch before that, I focused on a lot of football players, and I have not sold um that many, football. I'm very, very surprised. I've sold, I mean, I had one guy buy like 6 basketball cards, another guy buy 5 basketball cards. Basketball was still selling pretty good. Basketball, baseball, um, Caitlin Clark. I'm probably down to my last. I had opened those 2 blasters. I listed every single one of those cards, and I think I'm down to maybe a dozen left. I have 2 more boxes that I'm probably going to open tomorrow and look to get them son of a guns. Listen, hey, what is happening, Mr. Kyle Bush fan number 8? Ryan, how are you? I have 2, like I said, I have 2 more boxes of Caitlin Clark cards that I got to get open. So that this way I can list those uh, I can list those cards and uh, get them being sold. Also, I was very, very surprised, very, very surprised. That the Caitlins are selling as well as they are. But like I said, I think I'm maybe down to about maybe a dozen Caitlin Clark cards left. I have to excuse me, I have to double check and see. Keep them going. We got to hi everybody. We got to hi your buddy Dominic. So Mike, while we're talking here, so you said you had running back, wide receiver, tight end. Uh, who did you take? Like but again, I would fill out running back, wide receiver, and then my next picks. I would go ahead and I would take I take my quarterback, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, round 6, round 7, you should still be able to get a good quarterback, a good serviceable QB. Just make sure, don't forget. Yes, that's right. It was a run on quarterbacks, so you took one. Well, all right. Hopefully, it works out for you. Yes, Big John and Ryan D. um, don't forget to be watching your bye weeks. So, like for instance, if you have your starting quarterback that's going to be there all year long and everything, when you are going to take another quarterback to hit that bye week, go open up another window, build in the trenches. Remember, defense wins championships. When you're picking up your second quarterback, it's more about who might get you the most points. So, if your quarterback has a bye week in week 10, when it comes to picking your second quarterback, go look at the schedule for week 10 and pick the quarterback with the most favorable matchup just for that 1 week. That's the only one you care about because you only need him for that 1 week. You shouldn't play him any other week. So that's something to go ahead and take a look at with your running backs, with your wide receivers. You start two. Make sure you at least have one, the third one, that all three of those at least have different bye weeks, so you're not screwing yourself on a bye week and stuff like that. Last thing you need to have happen is to have a bunch of guys with bye weeks at week 12 and then you're screwed. Mr. Bird, how you doing, sir? So, but getting back to it, it's going to be interesting to see uh, what's going to happen with what I think are the three cards that people probably going to be trying to get. So the one of one Victor Wembanyama, which we know has been pulled. And I know Blez, like I said, Blez made a video about it. We know the one of one with the triple autograph, the Curry, Durant, LeBron triple auto. We know it's out there somewhere because that was a Topps Now, and all those cards have shipped. So somebody either has a pack sitting on their desk that they have not opened, or they opened it and they're not saying a word. And then the other one, and I don't think that I haven't received an email because I did get into that one. But I don't think the Topps Now for Shohei Ohtani has sold. I mean, I'm sorry, has shipped. I don't think that one has shipped. Yeah, 75 for the Blasters. And what's bad about it, Larkin, is when I looked at the checklist, I think you could only get like a refractor and a pink refractor. Like, that's the only thing out of blasters. I don't think that when you look at the checklist, unless I read it wrong, it didn't appear that any you can't get any numbered. I guess I mean, I can't say you can't get any. It's one of those ones where maybe something strange happens. But when you look at the checklist, it wasn't showing anything being able to be pulled other than those two. I was looking at, it, I was like thinking, cause I was wondering why when it first came out, I went to Whatnot, which was last week. I said, hey, maybe I'll get into a Topps Chrome break. What the hell? I'll try once. And somebody was doing a 6 blaster break. It was random team, and it was going to be $18 a spot. And I said, $18 a spot. And the guy posted it on Whatnot. And after 10 minutes, there was only 7 spots sold. So I'm thinking, okay, $18 in cheap is cheap, but there's got to be a catch. And that's when I went and looked at the checklist. And like I said, unless I read it wrong, it looked as though there's a refractor and a pink. So, so I was like, well, no wonder why no one's getting in. The only thing you can get would be a pink Victor Wembanyama rookie. Like, that would be the best card you can get out of a blaster. Again, I don't know how much that is. I don't know if they, they're sneaking in some other stuff per se. But I found that, very interesting that they put nothing in blasters, especially for $75. It's freaking crazy, man. Crazy for a blaster. And if, and the funny thing is, it's going to be people are going to go out there. I think on eBay, I think they were going for $99. I think if somebody had buy it now, $99 on eBay. There's going to be people that are going to think, oh my gosh, what a shot I could take. I could drop $100, $200, and I might be able to get a Victor Wembanyama autograph. And they won't look at the checklist. Some people don't think about looking at the checklist. They hear about the craze, the fad, and they jump in with both feet into the deep end of the pool, and they get nothing. Because you think about it, all you could get is, I think, a pink and a regular refractor, which now, it makes me want to double check. I have to double check now. I can't stand them all. Mosaic, Topps Chrome Elite, Topps Chrome Basketball. So, refractors, regular refractor, 1 in every 2 hobby, 1 in 1 breaker box, 1 in 8 blasters, 1 in 11 hanger, 1 in 6 monster. Blue refractors, monster. Negative refractor, hobby. Prism, hobby. Green refractor. Oh, you can't get a green. You can get a green and a blaster and a hanger, and you can get a pink and a blaster. Pink blaster. And that's it. Superfractors. Oh, you can't get a superfractor. 1 in 50,000 blasters. Yes, that's right. 50,000. So basically, you ain't getting one. So I know that the chance is there. Now that I look at it more, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 cards. Well, 5 superfractors, pink basketball, a pink refractor, a green refractor, and a regular refractor. So a lot of the other ones, orange, blue wave, gold, black, frozen, you can't get those. So I don't know why, honestly, people would pay $75 for one of those blasters. I don't see from a value perspective. And let's see, a blaster has 4 cards and it has 7 packs. So you get 28 cards for $75. So basically, just under $3 a card. Even if you pull a green refractor, you're I cannot believe that a green refractor would go for $75 to get your money back. So, you know, it stinks. When I look at Beckett and I click on autographs, yeah, 25 will be base cards. That's what I'm saying. So maybe you get 3 somethings. When you look at the autographs, when you click on the autograph tab on Beckett, hobby, 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 hobby. And what's crazy is super fract. So if you figure if the Victor Webinyama, um, where's the Victor Webinyama? Certified rookie autographs. If that's the one that is the Victor Webinyama, um, you're looking 1 in 14,903 hobby boxes. So think about how many hobby boxes will open that the Victor 1 of 1 is already pulled. And you can only get autographs out of hobby boxes, except the pink. Oh, you can get a pink refractor. It's funny. Future Stars autographs. So I don't know what that one is. That can come out of a blaster, but it doesn't say. There's no checklist to it. So I don't know, man. It's I didn't think it was. I was gonna. I mean, I would have liked to have opened one to open it up on the channel to show you guys, but I'm sorry, not at $75. Cannot do it at $75. Oh wow, the Cubbies threw a no. Maddie, maybe Maddie's at the game. What it was in Chicago? Maybe Maddie was taken in a game. Imaga and 2 relievers. Tro a no heater. Oh wow, the White Sox beat the Orioles 8-1. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Come on, Baltimore. You're not going ahead and helping, man. Come on. White Sox 32 and 109, man. So we got what? 30. We got so that's what? 30. That would be 39, 40. They played 41 foot. Got 21 games left to get 12, 13 losses. No, 11. We need 12. Yeah, we need 12 losses out of it. 12. We need 12 losses so that they can take over and be 39 and 121. So we can go ahead and get rid of, you know, the Mets. Yeah, well, a lot of teams are losing. It's crazy. He was at Shea Stadium last night. Great game. Sox or 4 and 46 going into tonight. How motivated are you if you are a White Sox player? I understand you should be happy about getting your shot in the big leagues. But I mean, if you're Luis Robert, you're Andrew Benintendi, he's played for some good teams. If you're Andrew Vaughn, you come up through the system, you're Andrew Vaughn. You know, what like I can understand some of these other guys, maybe, Nicky Lopez and Luis Sosa and and some of these other guys are getting shots to be in the big leagues. I'm okay with that. I get that. But if you're some of these other guys, golly. They did. No, they won 9-0 in game 2. They won 13-3. They won the series 2 games to 1. I'm just, Dom, we need this White Sox team to lose 121 games. We have to clear that from the Met stuff, man. We have to clear it. Yes, City Field. I'm telling you, I know Otani is probably going to wind up being the the MVP, but I will tell you, yeah, I'll be a homer, but Francisco Lindor, um, Francisco Lindor has um has got to he has to have some great consideration. He's got to be up there. I mean, what he is doing, putting that team on his back. They have 6 games against the Angels, but the rest are tough ones. Well, and the Angels, they got nothing to friggin' win. They got nothing to play for, you know? I just hope, I mean, the problem you have is this, Larkin. I mean, you know, Cleveland has something to play for. Boston, yeah. San Diego definitely does. But some of these other teams don't have anything to play for either, you know? So, but they're good teams though, A run on defenses in the middle of the draft. Man, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Because defense can slip up. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would go defense. How many? What round are you in? So the Colorado Rockies, the Miami Marlins, and the Chicago White Sox are the 3 teams that are actually eliminated from the playoffs. The New York Metropolitan. So let's see. Detroit is 5 games out of the final spot. Hey, White Sox also got Oakland, so they got 9 games between Oakland and the Angels. It's gonna be tough. What they can win all 9 of those. I'm okay with they can win those 9. Just lose everything else. Basically, the Mets are a half a game out of the last spot. Um, and then the Cubs are 4.5 out. Well, they are. The A's have been playing. I mean, even though the A's are, 17 games under 500, um, they are somewhat better. They have been playing overall better baseball, um, than what they were, showing. They beat the Marlins the last 2 games. I mean, they beat the Brewers, they beat the Reds, they beat the Rays, they beat the Giants. Scumbags beat the Mets twice. So the A's are not. You're right. You're that's a good point, Lawkin. Very good point. I think they are definitely but potentially they can do some stuff. So Mike, what does your team look like so far? So um you know, I know we don't really necessarily talk a lot about hockey and stuff, but what about the shameless, the unnecessary um death of Johnny Hockey and his brother Matthew uh, Goudreau, I guess you say, or Gaudreau. Not good with that name, but what a shame! What a shame. The Angels will be eliminated. Yeah, the Angels will definitely be eliminated this weekend. Uh, you know, what a shame. Uh, terrible, 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 terrible. Just unfortunate, unfortunate. Didn't have to happen. I mean, and then I mean, it's just the whole situation so bad. They're there getting ready for their sister's wedding. Some drunk asshole takes it, both of them out. What a shame. It was definitely a shame. So your quarterback is CJ. Your running backs are Brees, didn't take one. Kamara, Aaron Jones. Wide receivers are Evans, Flowers, Allen, Coleman. Your tight end is Kelsey. Who'd you take number one? You had the top pick. What route did you go there? I mean, I don't really see. You traded the overall number one pick. Wow. Wow, 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 folks. Wow. Was Aaron Jones one of your last running backs that you took? Bull strategy, Cotton. So it must have been a massive run on running backs if Aaron Jones was one of the last ones left, because I mean, there's a lot of other running backs ahead of him. So you got your three. That's good. Jones is with Minnesota this year. So you figure with um with Sam Darnold there, old Sammy boy. Aaron is the starter, so you did get a starter there, so that's good. You got Kamara. That's a pretty good one. And you got Brees. Um, did you get an extra pick for for your trade out of the overall number one? Like, did you grab an extra pick? Did he give you a first rounder and a third rounder for taking the number one pick? Or, what did you wind up giving up? Hopefully you didn't give up that much. GM, CEO, what happened? The fans need to know. One for one for one for two. So you got a first rounder and a second rounder for the overall number one pick. Is that what you're saying? Or you just swapped 1-1 and 1-2? You didn't get anything else? So all you did was swap picks? Danny flipping deals. Durant, Garnett, Zion, LaMelo, Burton, etc. All hard movers. Very few players bringing the money. Very, very true. Very, very true, Danny. I mean, you're 100%. I couldn't agree more with you. I think right now, I think you're looking at it. I think you're looking at the younger guys and the autographs. I think that's what's going to draw people, to the Topps Chrome. I think that's really what's bringing people to it is more um is more from that perspective. Um I don't necessarily think there are a lot of I don't think there are a lot of guys that are going to sell for big money. Danny, I will just say I just subscribed to your channel. $3 million collection. Oh wow. A lot of good videos on all kinds of reselling and stuff. Very cool. Uh, you know, yeah. Got the 96 Tyrone car. Shame it's not the 1.7 million Kobe I just sold. Yeah, you got yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But I mean, Carl is one of those guys where I don't necessarily know if he gets his just due. Morant, I think so. Lock-in, I think you are correct. Um, he had the injury last year, so it wasn't he didn't play bad because of the of what happened to him. In my opinion, I think when you look at Morant, if you can get his stuff on the cheap, you probably should look to pick it up and hold. I think he will go up. He really has. He's not a player who has a history of injuries and stuff. So I think when you look at him, um, I think you are looking at a guy, who will do well. I mean, in the long run. I mean, when you look at John Morant, you realize he's still only 25 years old, right? So he's still only 25. Again, unfortunately, you know, last year he was only able to play 9 games. So, you know, but before that he played 60, played 57, played 60, played 67. So it's not like he's a guy who has really gone down where he's playing, 35, 40 games. He's 20 again, he's 25. He just turned 25 in August, right? So you got to figure he this year he'll only be 25. If he gets into this, the 60 something game, high 60s, low 70s and stuff, and he puts up decent numbers, I think he'll be a he could be a buy. I mean, last year it was only 9 games, but he still had a 25 yeah, 25 points per game average. So I don't think he's okay. Ant-Man and Wemby, the only two players I'm keeping since 2021. Definitely good philosophy right there. Um, I will tell you, I think two guys to take a chance on if their prices are okay are Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson. I think those two players have a shot. You should be able to get some stuff of them on the cheap, especially Scoot, because of Scoot, got hurt, didn't play well. I think those two players you might be able to get some of their stuff on the lower end. So I think that's those two guys are two other rookies to think of. I think if you go back the year before last when you had all those other guys, I just don't think that there's enough, any of the what 20 last year was 23, 24. So the 22, 23 guys, honestly, I don't know if I mean, you can take those might be the guys that are worth taking a shot at because most of those cards should be really, really cheap because none of those rookies from 22, 23 have stood out. Yeah, Magic doesn't bring big money either. I had a lot of Magic Johnson cards. I do have a lot of Magic Johnson cards, and stuff. Not rookies, but other cards that don't bring in. It's tough. Basketball is a tough market. You know, um, you have you have those handful of guys, but you have some of those guys where it's hard to try. It's hard to even get them. I mean, Ant Man, Wemby. What are you gonna, like? What are you gonna get? Their base rookies, their silver rookies, maybe a refractor. Any of their low numbered stuff is gonna be big dollars. Any autographs are gonna be even bigger dollars. So to me, from that standpoint, you know, I think you're looking at a um I think you're looking at two players where still the price of entry on Ant-Man and Wemby is getting up there, in my opinion. That's just, that's just what I think. I think that's gonna be, tough on everything. Pulled the Obsidian Ant-Man auto, sold it. Way after one. There you go. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. I tell you that's the one thing, Danny, you make you make a real, that's a good point there. You pulled it, and you sold it and stuff. A lot of these guys, a lot of these young players, you gotta strike while the iron is hot because these guys go up. Like, look at LaMelo Ball. There were people who were not necessarily LaMelo Ball fans, but invested in LaMelo Ball, and look what happened to the value of his. Now he's a type of guy that can come back, and some of his cards, may go up in value. Zion is the same way. You know, the issue we have, when you look at it, people, you know, Locke, you said Ja Morant, right? Ja Morant, Ja Morant, Ja Morant. And again, when you look at it, you go, wow, John Morant, the dude's been in the league forever. Yeah, this season is going to be John Morant's sixth season, but he's still only 25 years old. From that thing. How do the unexpected guys cards do like Brunson and Maxi? You know, um, I mean, they're not, super big dollar cards. Um, Brunson, I think, is a kid who you could look to maybe to think about taking a chance on. I'm a New York Knicks fan. He plays for our team. I think, in my opinion, when you look at what they have around him right now, he has a really good shot if they can keep this team together over the next 3 years. And it's going to be very, very tough. But if they can keep these guys together, which they know they're going to have Brunson, they know they're going to have OG, they're going to have Bridges, they should have Josh Hart, they should have Dante DiVincenzo. The Julius Randle is the kind of the linchpin, not knowing what's going to happen with him. But if Brunson as the captain of the New York Knicks brings a championship to New York, I think the value of his cards are going to go up for sure. Maxi is tough. It depends on what kind of role he's going to have there. The guy's going to continue to develop. But, they brought in, they brought in Paul George. So Paul George potentially could take away from Maxi. So not sure. That one's a tough one for Maxi. Every year people pick 10 rookies to buy and hold, 9.9 up. You got that right. Yeah, you're right. Those are really the only, and what's scary, and that's what's crazy about it. Those are really the guys. I mean, you think about it, the Jokers. You don't even see the Jokers cards going for up there. This is two-time. Look at the MVPs. Look at James Harden. Well, yeah, sell the hype, then fall back at zero, right? You know, I agree. Like what you did, Danny, and everything. You know what? I mean, you know, there are guys. You know, when you're a flipper, you should be a flipper. When you're an investor, you're an investor, right? To me, two very different. An investor gonna hold on or should hold on, right? An investor is looking more long term. A flipper gets in and takes his money and doesn't look back. Now, Danny, you know that because when when you look at all the different things that you sell right on eBay and all the other places, right? From a standpoint of is, hey, guess what? I get this stuff in and I turn around and I get out of it, right? So that's a flipper and stuff like that. So looking at your channel, a lot of the things that you're doing, that's what you do, right? That's what you do. No, SGA didn't have the hype very early. I mean, again, you know, what are you buying for? If you're like, hey, I would love to have an SGA in my collection, then yeah. I would love to have a Chet in my collection, then yeah. From that standpoint. But I don't know the guys that I don't know, I can't see Ant-Man. Well, not Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man, he's on a trajectory to be, an unbelievable player. So his cards should, go up. But the SGAs, the Chets, that those other guys, maybe even a Ja or a Zion, or some of those guys, Devin Booker. I just don't think that the long term value, is there. I think it's one of those things where when you look at the player, and if you pull a low numbered something out of them, then what you do is, unless it's a guy that you PC, you should sell. And I've been saying that, forever. With all the hype of all, especially of the young guys, man. When you look at even some of the baseball cards, right? The first Bowman Mojos that that knuckleheads are putting, excuse me, are putting, big dollars, pardon me, that are putting, big dollars on these guys. Oh my gosh, you have to go ahead and, you know, uh, you have to go ahead and buy this guy and buy that guy and do all this and do all that. Look at Dylan Cruz from baseball, right? Dude had a $250,000 bounty on his first mojo, and I get it. Still young, still up, but he's only hitting 212. And he has 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. I mean, okay, so what is he? Is it just, hey, we'll see what happens? It's only 35 at bats or so. Okay, but what is it? Ant Man and Wasp Quantum Mania wasn't very good, and Paul Rudd is a fraud. Don't buy Ant Man cards. Yeah, I think the other Ant Man. Uh, so some of these young guys, you know, I think if the money is there, you should take it. I don't necessarily think, you know, you should look back like, like the Wemby card. Like Danny says, hey, Wemby's one of those guys. Um, how high can a Wemby, okay, the Wemby one of one, non-licensed top chrome rookie. There's $1 million offer for that card. If you have that card, are you willing to take a chance of sitting on it, thinking, hey, I might as well go ahead and hold on to this card? It's already worth $1 million. Maybe it'll be worth more. Or are we at the point where it is actually at its peak? And if it's not at its peak, what could the peak become? What could the peak become? But I think, like what Danny was saying, a lot of these rookies and stuff, they ain't worth, you know, um, most of them, they're not worth big dollars. But if you can find some of these guys' rookie cards, like I was, and I'm being serious. So if you look at like the 22, 23, draft, or even you look at this year's basketball draft, there everybody was saying there's no superstars in this year's draft. So that should mean that those cards will have low points of entry. If you could go ahead and you could get you know, an autograph of one of those guys, at the 5, at the 10, and just hold on to it and you get it for cheap. And I mean cheap. I'm not talking about like $100 cheap. I'm talking to like somebody who's like, these guys suck. I just want to go ahead and get rid of this card, and you're paying, 20, $25, and you can take a chance on it. And if the guy goes ahead and becomes something crazy, as soon as you see him come up, sell it and don't look back. I think that's something that you could do. Um, but I don't think, I just don't know. I don't know, looking back at the last bunch of drafts. I mean, you look at the last 3 years drafts. Honestly, I think Wemby, Scoot Henderson, and Brandon Miller are probably the three, and they all came out of the same draft. That's the crazy part of it. 22, 23 NBA draft class. Let's see what we have. So the 22 draft, I'll say it must have been 20. Well, 22 has Banchero, Holmgren, Jamari Smith, Murray, Ivy, Maturin. I mean, honestly, none of those guys are the, oh my gosh, I better go ahead and jump out and get those guys. Uh, what do we have here? Where's my Wikipedia? There we go, Wikipedia. 21. I mean, Cade Cunningham, Green, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs, Josh Giddey. You know, 23, Victor, Miller, and Henderson. The Thompson twins, Anthony Black, a lot of these other guys, some of them will sell. I've sold a bunch of that Belial Kolabai, whatever that guy's name is. I sold a bunch of his stuff. But, that's all you have there. You have maybe those three. Again, 22, Pablo and Chet are probably the only two. 21, there's really nobody. I mean, if you could find Cade Cunningham maybe cheap, he might be worth a buy. I don't necessarily know if Jalen Green is. Evan Mobley, I'm going to say no. I don't think he's turned out much for Cleveland. Scotty Barnes, rookie of the year, okay. Maybe kind of, sort of. You go back to 2019. That's your, Edwards, Wiseman, LaMelo Ball. That's Halliburton, who may have some value, but probably not a ton. LaMelo Ball's, one again, up and down. If you can find his stuff cheap, might not be worth this shot. 2019, that's the one where, 2019 was when that was like the one where it was so hard to find those cards, right? That was right around 2020. That's when you went crazy. That's when you saw, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of Zion base cards go to PSA. What's up, Jedi Master? How are you, buddy? But there you have Zion and you have Morant. Darius Garland, probably the third one there. But after that, not a lot. Not a lot, gang. The last, when you go back 2019, when you go over when you do the last 5 years worth of draft, and you go even to, Arnie had a football. Was it a fantasy league? I didn't even hear about it, but then again, I was on vacation, so I wasn't sure. But you look at this last draft, I don't think there's anybody on here that people are going, holy cow, what an unbelievable pick. People were saying the Atlanta Hawks, not the year you wanted to have you wanted your ping pong ball to come out last or your envelope to be pulled last. So basketball is going to be a tough one. I think Bronny James. I think his cards. Yes, it was one you had to win or earn your way in. Pretty exclusive. Oh wow. What did you have to win to get into it? What, you had to win or you had to earn your way? What was it, just by buying into his breaks? Guess I didn't buy enough, son of a bastard. But I don't think, I think I'm not sure if the money is there in basketball the way it used to be. Again, if you look over the last 5 years, I think like Danny said, I think when you go back to 19, the last five drafts, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24, I think the only two guys that I think will have no reason to think that they will not be all stars to potential superstars is Edwards and Wemby. I think there are some second tier guys that might, I look at, again from last year, Scoot and Miller, uh, Cade Cunningham, I think potentially, but after that, basically it was $100 in product or a bonus spin after his last break. Oh, so it was based off of his last break, not if you bought $100 worth of stuff over a certain time. Okay, good for him. Hey man, that's awesome. Was Maddie over there? Was Maddie Vanilla Ice Baby over there? Thought I was live on Instagram, but I think I messed it up. But I'm not sure. I know we should be live on Rumble. I don't know how that is going. It doesn't look like it to me. It does say streaming now, but it's just a picture of me. There's no camera angle. What the hell? What in the Sam Hill's going on here? I don't know. Dang it. It was the last 2 weeks. No, he was not in it. Maddie might have been glued to the TV watching his Chicago Cubs pitch a no hitter. ACC, Adam, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Weird. You can't watch the live stream. Oh, look at that. So that is a comment from Rumble. Very nice. Got the little Rumble sign there. Oh, very cool. Woo woo. Again, I don't see anything on Instagram, so oh well. The Cubs, Imaga, and two relievers. Sean, your two packages went out yesterday per our agreement. Uh-oh. So basketball than that. Football, look, let's see. If you're looking for football players, I think it's very simple. You gotta be looking at your quarterbacks because uh that's basically where your money's gonna be is your quarterbacks. There are a few exceptions, but the bigger dollars are going to be in your QBs. It's going to be interesting to see um, what happens with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, some of those guys. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens uh, when those guys get cards, where their numbers are. I think, especially because I believe Fanatics has them to exclusives, so it's going to have to be a non-licensed product to get one of their autographs. That's how simple that is. You got the eyes, Sean. I don't know. Uh-oh. So, um, I don't know. I mean, I don't think his cards are gonna have a great value. I mean, they're gonna have a great value to a Cubs fan. Um, I don't necessarily think uh Ray waves are going to you know I don't necessarily know how much they could go up in value. I don't think they will, they will go up. When something like this happens, to be honest with you, um, being part of a no hitter probably gets a little bump, but overall, I don't think he will. I don't think it's like going to all of a sudden go from 8 to 40 or 8 to 50. I mean, could it go 8 to 15? Potentially. You know. Well, see, now that's a different story. If those are cards that you like, the Ray Waves and the negatives, then yes, you should buy one for $8. You should buy a rookie, whatever, Shota for $8 because you like the card. You know, as long as you're okay with paying that price, if you think that is a fair price, then yes, you purchase the card. I honestly think, in my opinion, that one, is a no brainer from that standpoint. I don't necessarily know if you can go wrong. And while you're at it, buy one for Dominic. And then if they're in really good shape, you're not sure. Hey, you can always, always, always send them to Gentile Grading and potentially put it, because I tell you, a Ray Wave in a tuxedo, I think that would look pretty good, my friend. Pretty good. Caitlin Clark, triple double, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 24 points. I tell you, gotta watch out for them Fever. Right now, the Fever, they're taking up the sixth playoff spot. New York Liberty #1, Connecticut Sun 2, the Lynx are 3, the Aces are 4, Storm 5, Fever 6, Mercury 7, Chicago Sky are 8. They hold the tiebreaker with the Atlanta Dream. I've got some mail coming in. I'll send an email when I get them. Sweet. Caitlin is the real deal. Like I was saying before, man, out of those two boxes, those two blasters that I opened, uh, I've probably sold 80% for sure, maybe almost 90% of the cards. I think I mean, well, probably 80%. 'cause it was 90%, 'cause I don't have many left. I've been selling. They definitely have been selling for me. I have 2 more boxes that I gotta open, um, so I could see, if I got any other kind of, anything good in them. Uh, I got 1 number card, and that card hasn't sold. I was very surprised. I would have thought by now it would have sold. I probably, I probably need to, adjust my price. eBay. eBay, and I would say I'm getting more multiple Caitlin's selling per customer than singles. I've had a lot of people buying 2, a couple, 3. I think there was one person, I think the most was like 6 of my Caitlin Clark cards. So, if you could find a box, it might work out for you. You might be able to, to open them. Maybe you pull a number, maybe you pull a number card and you can throw it out there. I know the Target exclusive. I just sold a couple of those, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I only had one number card, so these are all basically, um, and a couple of foil boards. Oh, you haven't seen them? Yeah, man. Target had them. eBay. I mean, I haven't seen them at Walmart at all. I've seen them at Target. I've seen them at Target. I got 2 more. Did I get 2 more? Yeah. I got 2 more boxes last time I went, because they were selling so good, and I haven't, what do you call it, opened them yet, but, I mean, it's a fun, I mean, they're not, they're not super duper. I mean, they're, basically like a Donruss card. Um, in each box, you do get, I think, 2 foil boards, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I think you might get 2 foil boards. So, I mean, again, pretty decent. It's not uh, you know, not super high end. I'm assuming. Yeah, I mean, it was a nice, fun little rip. Seeing the cards, the cards look good. There's not like, they're not bad or anything. I didn't think about getting any of them, graded. None of them looked at me enough and said, "Oh wow, hey, grade 1," which um, again, I don't know, from a value standpoint, I don't think any of them would. Maybe if you got like a low numbered, card would potentially be it. Um, it still surprises me that here we are. Um, when you look at the WNBA, uh, you know, and you look at the, you look at the season, and here we are with, well, they had the big break, right, with the Olympics. Didn't they have the big break with the Olympics? May, so August 30th. You look at, let's say, the Liberty. Let's see, one, two, three, four, five, 7 games. So there's maybe like 8 games left in the season, and Panini hasn't put out any WNBA with Caitlin or Angela Reese in it, and Angel Reese, not Angela, Angel Reese. And it's interesting because you would have thought by now that that would have been something that they would have tried to, get out. Like, I mean, personally, like, I don't understand. You look at the release calendar. Let's see, September, Topps Pro debut, Upper Deck hockey, select, Topps Chrome tennis, Decadence multisport, Chrome baseball, Panini Fina, Upper Deck hockey, Panini Spectra, impeccable, Panini Gold Standard football, Luminance football, NASCAR, football, Phoenix, Panini Phoenix basketball, hockey. So, I mean, here we are, the rest of September, it's not there. Prism baseball, Noir basketball, nope. Upper Deck, Panini one, Upper Deck, Panini, nothing. There's more hockey coming out, potentially. Wrestling, you got just some Upper Deck. Yeah, I mean, I don't even see Panini WNBA potentially being released yet. That's crazy. Like you have uh yeah, there's no oh wait. Yeah. There's no WNBA when you look at Beckett's release calendar. That is extremely odd to me that you would not have that. Like Panini, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Now, is the thought process, hey, let me go ahead and wait till the season's over, and then when it's dead in November, December, release it before Christmas? I mean, you're going to have the NBA out. Why would you want to compete with the NBA for basketball people? Especially when you have the hottest commodity. I mean, you have, I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. With all the spotlight being drawn to it, why would you not have it out? But I don't even see it. I don't even see it on the calendar. Don't see any of it. You know, don't see a doggone thing. So I don't know. 2024 WNBA. Let's do Panini. Panini WNBA Prism. 2024 Panini cards. Did we miss it? No, that's Panini Instant. Huh. Factory Hobby Box Panini Basketball. What is this one? Oh no, I'm sorry. Panini Baseball. It's not that one. Blaster Pack Pre-order Panini America 2024 Midwest cards. So I guess there's just an anticipated release. There's nothing. There's zero information on it. So definitely a loss, big time. Again, unless the thought process is, hey, uh, we don't care because we rather go ahead and put it out, after the season is over. It's all that I could think of. Because I cannot believe that there was somebody who was, for lack of better words, reading the room and being like, "What the hell's going on here? Let's not worry about that whole Caitlin Clark thing. What are the chances? Well, they blew it friggin' big time, man. Blew it big time. So I don't know. I like I said, there are things that I do not understand. Not going to try and understand with companies like Panini and some of these other cats out there. And what they're, especially Panini, uh, what their process is. I don't understand how you miss it. With all the excitement again that Reese and Clark are bringing to the league, and even what the girl who was the second pick, what's her name, out of Stanford, she went down with a with an injury. Uh, she went down with an injury and wasn't able to go ahead and play. So I don't know. Rookie tracker. What was her name? Angela Reese. Cardoso is another good one who was pretty good. Can't remember. Oh well. Excuse me. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Sean, Adam, Dom, Big John, Danny, Lockin. Hey, thanks you so much for hanging out. Much appreciated. You guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your night. Uh, Episode 88. You know what that means? We're only a couple more away from episode number 89. So holy smokes. But appreciate everybody. Have a great night. And I will see all of you dudes next Wednesday. Good night, everybody.